thought the trading of Matt Stafford for Jared Goff was like such a lateral move that I was like, why do they think Matt Stafford is going to be the improvement or the answer? It was weird. It was totally stupid, in my opinion. He was not the reason that the Rams won anything. If anybody thinks that, ha 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 ha. They had OBJ and they gained Von Miller on the defensive side to go with Aaron Donald, and it was a defensive victory that got them that Super Bowl, not an offensive one. So yeah, no, Matt Stafford was like a total just lateral move in terms of quarterback. And I say lateral move, and then we see what Jared Goff has done with the Lions, and I go, maybe they got the short end of the stick because Goff immediately took the Lions and brought them into a playoff game. They didn't win it, but they got into the playoffs, and now they're in year 2 with them, and he has won a playoff game. I just think that maybe the Rams wish they had Goff back. All I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. But the Lions, like I said, they've been an exciting team to watch. I enjoyed the fact that they're climbing the ranks, but this is a coin toss in terms of whether it be Lions or Bucks who go on to the next round. And I kind of, it's weird. I don't have a dog in the fight per se, so I'm kind of like neutral. But it's like looking at them, it's like the Lions have such a great story, and the Bucks also have some great stories. So, you know, whoever comes out of it, it'll still be fun to watch and see how far they can go. And last on the weekend slate, the Chiefs versus the Bills. Now this is a matchup. These two keep coming back around to face each other. Patrick Mahomes versus Josh Allen. And so far, obviously, Mahomes is winning those battles. He's up. He's up on the count, people. Way up. This is a reversal, though, because usually in the playoffs, the Bills have had to travel to Kansas City. Kansas City having home field advantage, full throated crowd, you know, home digs, you know, no travel. They're going up to Buffalo this time, you know, and it's not going to be nice weather neither. It's going to be Buffalo weather. Now, problem is that I don't know if the Bills played the best football in Buffalo weather, even though that's their city. So we're going to find out, though, because they're going to have that opportunity to overcome the hurdle that's prevented them from advancing. And, you know, I want to root for underdogs usually. And definitely, in my opinion, the Bills are the underdogs in this situation. I don't care what the spreads say. The Bills are the underdogs because the Chiefs have done it already. They've shown they can step up in the playoffs. They already beat a team that everybody was like, will they make it past them? So they did. And now they get to face a nemesis that they know so well. So will the Bills be able to step up? Will they be able to cut off Kelsey? And, you know, will Rice make the mistakes, you know what I'm saying, that are necessary for them to win? Because they have to, I don't know if they're going to have to force some of those things. I don't know if they're going to be able to chase down and get to Patrick Mahomes. I really don't. I question the Bills in terms of their ability to step up in the big games against the big boys. The roller coaster that is Josh Allen has been on an upward trajectory for a little while these last few weeks, and usually that means he's due for a downward swing. We'll see what happens, man. We will see what happens. I would get into more, but I have in my next segment some talking points around these two, so I'm gonna just pause right here to end the NFL conversation. Hope everybody gets to enjoy the games, and again, we will next session have some wrap up and see what went down and talk through whys and hows and all that good stuff, because the NFL playoffs are where it's at right now, so I'm gonna try to make sure we dig into them for real in the next episode. All right, so that's my NFL segment for today. Again, I'm annoyed that I couldn't carry the whole season through with you, because I have a lot throughout the season that would have really like added to the substance of what I just put out. But it's cool. It's cool. We are where we are. we accept it, and we just move forward and do the best we can. So that's what I'm about to do. We're going to get to the last segment. My last segment, the closeout segment. This is Rob Dollar's 2 cents on the media at large. Now, how I'm doing this is right now, because first episode, people, we might have to adjust it. We'll see. But I watch on a regular basis a lot of sports media, and in preparation for this, I tried to narrow some of it down. I've decided to go with 2 programs from the old school giant in sports media, the OGs, ESPN. From ESPN, I am going to be giving you my feedback from Get Up, which is an early morning show, and the follow-up show to that, which is First Take. And then on the other side, I've gone to one of their competitors, another, again, giant in the sports realm, Fox. And for Fox, I've been tuning into First Things First and Speak. Again, I think these shows all have a good, diverse group of folks that they bring in, former players, supposed media insiders, and so again, I do feel like they do a great job of, definitely bringing to light important pieces of data and information on game trends, player trends, things like that. So I do appreciate the sports media for being able to put out information that, otherwise me, a guy who doesn't have a research department, probably would never pull those stats together type of thing. So I do appreciate sports media in that regard. But it's again, the other part of it is, aside from the facts, is the opinions. And the opinions is where I start getting a little like, with a lot of these guys. So what I've done today for you is, from those 4 shows, yesterday's airing of those 4 shows, I've selected one of the questions that they addressed on their broadcast, and I'm going to give you my answers, my responses, my opinions on those questions. So here we go. I hope you like the segment, and again, this could stay the same, it could change, and as I continue on, I will start calling out more folks today. I'm not going to call out folks. I'm just going to answer the questions and leave my commentary on who was an idiot bobbling head versus who said more what I think is analytical and accurate conversation or points. So we'll start with Get Up. And on yesterday's airing, they had huge conversation around the Dallas Cowboys. And the question was, is bringing Mike McCarthy back the right move for Dallas? Now, it is always interesting to talk about a team that's had great success in the regular season and consistent playoff appearances to be thought about in terms of a need for change in leadership machine. But the Dallas Cowboys have a weird trending history of holding on to things overly long, not letting go, not changing as quickly as they should. And when it comes to Mike McCarthy, I feel like they're actually doing it the right way. Mike McCarthy is going to be next season going into his last contract year. And I think one of the things that teams do really too much is they throw away money. And they throw it away by getting rid of people that they still got to pay. If you get rid of Mike McCarthy right now, you still got to pay Mike McCarthy for next season. Even though you're going to bring in someone else that you also didn't have to pay. I think this is a smart move in terms of business-wise, because you let him play out the last year, and then if he actually gets you over the hump, you can reward him with you can stay and continue to be the head of the franchise, the coach of my franchise for the next, and you give him a contract, 4 years, 5 years, whatever you want to give him. And if he fails, then he fails, and it really is time for a true change of the regime. And I hope that, well, it's weird to say, I know I don't normally like to talk in a negative sense like this. I try to keep positive vibes, positive energy. But I'm not a Mike McCarthy fan. I didn't think he did anything special when he was in Green Bay. He kind of lucked up and got a chip with Aaron Rodgers. And then they basically just kind of putzed around and did middling for the rest of his regime. Moves over to Dallas. Now, I will tell you that I'm not a fan of Dak Prescott. I think that he's, again, a false superstar in the NBA. In the NFL. He's somebody who should be being treated the way people are treating Brock Purdy. Because Dak Prescott is a game manager. If you ask him to do more than manage, he will blow the game for you. And that's what he's consistently showed. Yet everybody kind of talks about him like, look at his stats, look at his numbers, he's so good. Look, results are what matter. And yes, Dak's won plenty of games, but not as the guy who was the driving force of them winning a game. He's more likely to have been the driving force of them losing a game than winning a game. So I'm ready for the regime of Dak Prescott to end. I'm ready for the regime of Mike McCarthy to end. And I think next year we will see the end. I think this will be the final chapter of those guys in Dallas. Now, maybe Dak will go somewhere else, find another coach that can actually continue to help him grow and become the full force that everyone kind of thinks Dak Prescott can be. But right now, in Dallas, I just don't see it happening. So yeah, I do think this is a right move for Dallas, which is rare for Jerry Jones. I think he often makes the wrong decision, but here we have him making the right call. So I gotta just salute him and say, good job. Again, people who are like, get him out of here right now, again, who are you bringing in? And there's a whole thing too where I'm annoyed with the coaching scenario within the NFL. There should be just like they don't let trades and player movements happen until after a certain time, coaches should not be being interviewed or enticed until after the Super Bowl is over. Because a lot of the guys who are asked to be in interviews and who are looking to take advantage of the opportunity to advance themselves as in coaching in the NFL, they're on teams that are in the playoffs right now. And you guys are going to distract those coaches from being able to do what they need to help these teams that are still playing while you're enticing them to go be a part of these losers. And I don't like that. I want the coaches to be able to stay focused throughout the entirety of the playoffs and then still have the opportunities for themselves professionally after the Super Bowl is over, after the playoffs are all completed. So I'm annoyed that there's even the option here happening of people talking to other coaches right now, because that's what's driving this. Because there is a thing where Bill Belichick is out there, greatest coach of all time, and everybody is like, he could elevate my team. But should that even be an issue right now? Should any of these other impressive coordinators and assistant coaches and what have you be being bothered right now with wondering about hiring potentials and job opportunities? Just don't like it. I don't like it at all. And of course everybody's talking about Harbaugh stepping up from the college sports world to try again to get something going here in the pro leagues. But again, none of those things should really be conversations right now. It's annoying that there's any conversations around coach replacements to me while we're in the midst of the playoffs. We should be focused solely on the teams that are continuing to advance and give us the best product on the field. So again, yes, I do think Dallas is doing the right thing, but I think the conversation on coaches should honestly be on pause. We can't pause it because the NFL doesn't pause it, so things are happening That's why I go ahead and answer this question because, again, it's part of what is going down. So that was my 2 cents on the question from Get Up. First take, I thought the best question they asked all day was, what would be more impressive if Mahomes or Josh Allen wins the Super Bowl? Now, saying that this was the best question, to be honest with you, isn't saying a lot because this is really, to me, easy question to answer. The answer here is Josh Allen. Josh Allen winning a Super Bowl would definitely be more impressive than Patrick Mahomes winning a Super Bowl. Bob, what do you mean by that? It would be Patrick Mahomes' third Super Bowl. How is that not more impressive than him winning his first? Well, we already know Patrick Mahomes can win championships. He's already proven it. And he's proven it more than once. And we have the expectation that he will be back there again before his career is over. Whereas Josh Allen hasn't done it yet at all. And everybody wants him to be an elite quarterback. They want him to be on that standard. Well, he's got to prove it by actually doing it. And so for him to win one will establish him as that level of player he wants to be. That level of player everybody talks about him as potentially being. And so for me, him winning that first one is definitely going to be more impressive than Patrick winning another one. You know what I'm saying? We expect Patrick to win another one, to be honest with you. It's like if you tell someone, if you have someone who's a good cook, and then there's another person who everyone says can be a good cook. Well, the person who is a good cook, when they deliver to you that delicious, succulent meal, and everything's melting in your mouth, you're like, everything I knew it would be. You know what I'm saying? Satisfaction. But if you're somebody who's been eating the guy's food who everyone thinks can be, and it's been just okay meals, and then all of a sudden he comes and he puts the meal in front of you and it's super succulent, you're like, oh my gosh, I'm super impressed. This is amazing. You got to make this all the time. Like you definitely now have a higher appreciation for that person. So for me, it's definitely a more impressive thing for someone to prove they can do it versus somebody showing that they can do what they've already shown you they can do. Again, that's definitely a very opinionated question. It couldn't go either way. Again, I can't knock that. Achieving the goal of winning 3 Super Bowls would definitely be super impressive. It definitely is a thing that there are a lot of other people who got that on their resume type of thing. So 100% it would be impressive. Both of these things, winning a Super Bowl is always impressive. So both of these things, clearly impressive things. Which one is more impressive? I think it's proving you can do something that you haven't actually done yet. So that's the only reason I say Josh Allen winning a Super Bowl would be more impressive than Patrick Mahomes winning a Super Bowl. So again, I think we can cut that one short and dry. Again, because it's 100% opinion. There's not a lot of fact stuff around this. This is 100% just your individual look at a moment. You know what I'm saying? Because again, if we were talking about these guys in terms of what will it do for their legacy or cement them somehow, then the answer would be switching for me, and I'd say it's more about Patrick Mahomes. But we're not talking about legacy. We're just talking about in this moment, here in 2024, the Super Bowl that's going to be played, whose win of the Super Bowl would be more impressive, and that's what I'm focused on, and that's why I say Josh Allen. That's my 2 cents. All right, next one up. First things first. And they asked, who needs to win more, Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson? And I said, wow, this is an interesting question. Because Lamar kind of needs this. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he's been given everything that you could possibly want in order to be a winner. And he's been paid. So there's the high expectation of you've got to show you're worth those dollars. So it's a lot of pressure there, a lot of expectation. I still once again go ahead and give my answer as Josh Allen. I think if Josh Allen loses, this playoff run, it doesn't make it at least to the conference finals, they might blow up the whole team in Buffalo. I don't know if Diggs is staying. He might be off it. They don't the Von Miller experiment needs to end. He's not the player he was before. He's not even the player he was when he was in LA. So yeah, if they don't make it, like I said, conference championship, at least they that whole thing might be blown up. You know what I'm saying? And Josh might be on his way to starting his journeyman's career. And you know, the NFL's fickle. So how many starting opportunities will Josh Allen get? He definitely will get at least one more because he's done enough for that. But you know, once you start the journeyman role, it's a little bit dicey. It can be a very dicey. It's not a huge list. I don't feel like of guys who have, you know, once they've started established themselves and then been pushed out and on to the next team, that have really elevated and moved on to true greatness. So, you know, because he's had a lot of success in Buffalo. He's had the support around him to succeed in Buffalo. So, again, I think that he needs this win more than Lamar, because Lamar, again, he did get his big contract. He's not going nowhere. He's going to be playing next season as a Baltimore Raven and probably the season after that. It's will he have the pieces around him to be able to make another big run next season? That's a question mark. But, I mean, he's not going nowhere. Josh Allen might be on his way to starting his bye-bye out of Buffalo type of situation. So he needs this. He needs these victories. This one and the next one. He needs them. And that's my 2 cents on the who needs the win more, Allen or Lamar. And last but not least, Speak. And there was a quote that they were basing this question off of, where an NFL exec, I guess, was being interviewed, talked to, what have you. And he had the audacity, is what I'm going to say, the audacity to say that there are 7 great quarterbacks still playing in the NFL playoffs, and Brock Purdy. That's what he said. He said, and Brock Purdy. Like, Brock Purdy's not a good NFL quarterback. And that's just asinine. It's a stupid statement. Ridiculous. And so the question that they spoke on is Brock the worst QB remaining in the playoffs? And I 100% quickly will close the book on this by saying, hell no. Absolutely, unequivocally, hell no. Brock Purdy literally was being talked about in MVP conversations this season. So unless all the other quarterbacks that are left in the playoffs right now were also being talked about in the MVP conversation, there's no way you can go, they're all better than Brock Purdy. And I can tell you right now that no one had Baker Mayfield in the conversation for MVP. No one had Jordan Love in the conversation for. No one had Jared Goff in the conversation for MVP. So by default, Brock Purdy can't be the worst quarterback still remaining in the playoffs. Just not a possibility. Brock, I spoke about you when I spoke about your upcoming matchup. I just want to see you just keep putting in that work, because the work will prove out that these are stupid and silly statements. These are questions that really don't have any merit. Brock Purdy has shown so much potential is there. He hasn't achieved or fulfilled his fullest potential, but he's shown it's there. And not only is it there, but he's poised enough to not force it. He's someone who understands that I have to make sure that I allow my dynamic playmakers to be playmakers. And then, because I let them be playmakers, we will then get opportunities where I can show off a little bit, where I can flex up. And so, as long as he continues to be Brock Purdy, just play his own game, I have no doubts that he will continue to have success in the NFL. I have no doubt that they will have success this weekend, as a matter of fact. Again, Niners all day over the Packers this week. Sorry, you're a Packers fan. That's, nice. Be happy your team did great this season. and look forward to the years to come with Jordan Love. But yeah, Brock Purdy being the worst quarterback still in the playoffs is a ridiculous concept. Again, I like the young quarterbacks that I just named. I like Jared Goff. I didn't name very many young quarterbacks actually. Jordan Love's the young quarterback. I like Jordan Love as a young quarterback. I like Baker Mayfield as a journeyman, inexperienced quarterback. Same thing with Jared Goff, but none of those guys are outplaying Brock Purdy. I'm not even sure Josh Allen is outplaying Brock Purdy. You know what I'm saying? Patrick Mahomes, he's balling out of control all the time, and it's the people around him who are failing him. So I won't say you're outplaying the best there is, you know what I'm saying? But you are having greater success than him for sure this season. And at the end of the day, sports are played one season at a time, and only when we talk about legacy and overall achievement should we start looking at anything that's not the current season that we're in. And so right now, Brock Purdy has definitely got to be looked at as, again, his team is one of the top 2 or 3 teams remaining in the playoffs. He's got to be considered one of the top 2 or 3 quarterbacks still remaining in the playoffs. If you look at it as not that, then you're just doing your favoritism, fandom thing a little too hard. I'm a fan, okay? Super fan. But both of my teams are out right now. So I'm tempered in my fandom about any and all of the teams remaining. Again, the Patriots this season were this little disaster that I don't like to talk about at all. Note that I'm looking down and away. As I say, it's just sad. It's very sad. I don't want to talk about it. We'll talk about it at the close of the season, wrap up maybe. I'll get my thoughts on how I hope they move forward or what have. I don't know. It's sad. And then my other team, they shit the bed as well. I root for the Eagles. I know. The second half of their season, it was like, who are these guys? What happened to the people that were in the Super Bowl last year? I don't know. I don't know what happened. I don't know. It was annoying. It was annoying to watch. It made me want a little sick inside. I threw up in my mouth a couple times. Anyway, you know what? Let's wrap this up. First episode. I hope everyone enjoys it. Again, I'm going to work on trying to get some editing done so we can chop these blocks up so you can get the intro versus the NBA versus the NFL, and then at the end of the day, my 2 cents on what's going on in the media world. So, again, hope you enjoyed this episode. Hope to continue to put out more. Going forward, my intention again is to do 2 a week. Probably going to aim for Tuesday, Thursday. But again, I will be putting my social media platforms for up next together. You can find me, Rob Dollars, on Twitter/X. You can also find me, of course, on my YouTube channel. And again, I hope that everyone enjoys the episode and comes back for more fandom to come. We'll see what's up next.